good health. How do we attain and maintain healthy living? We have answers concerning communicable, lifestyle, genetic and non-genetic diseases. Join me, Cecilia Mwariri, and our medical experts every Wednesday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. for informative and educative conversations. This is the 911 show on Nisi Television, where we transform lives through media.
Artificial tooth on it. You can't apply force or pressure before it heals.
Okay, when you're talking about they, who is this that is putting up my implant? Yeah?
So a number of dental specialists can actually put implants. So you can actually have a general dentist who's trained in implantology, and you can even have a specifically trained person called an implantologist. They do nothing else apart from implants. So you can have a general dentist that has the skills to put implants, and then you can still go to someone who does implants only. It's called an implantologist.
Ah, wow, okay. Yes. Wow, that's so much to learn. We have so much to learn on implant.
Yes,
so, what is the procedure that I need to follow after I've been put up the implant? What is that procedure that I need to follow? Is there a specific procedure?
Yes. So let's assume you've had an implant done today. So what an implant procedure involves, you will go to the dentist. They give you local anesthetics, so they numb you, so that it's not painful.
Okay.
And then, because the implant goes into the bone, so you'd imagine they'd have to go through your gum first. So they reflect your gum away. I'm drilling a small hole where the implant will go, and then they close. So there's a number of techniques. You can close it fully, you can close it partially by putting a collar. So once you go home, you will still be numb. So we usually tell you the same day, don't eat until the numbness goes.
Okay.
Otherwise you won't tell the difference between a piece of chicken and your lips. So you can actually chew yourself. So we tell you to avoid eating until the numbness goes. Then before the place heals fully, we want you to avoid eating using that side and eat using the other side that hasn't had anything done.
Okay.
And then you need to regularly clean your mouth. You brush your teeth. Use a mouthwash. Make sure no food accumulates around the area. We want to avoid infection as much as possible. And then for those implants which a tooth is put the same day as the implant, like the front teeth, we tend to give specific instructions. Do not eat at any cost with that tooth for the 3 months. Wow. So if you're eating an apple, you chop it up into pieces, throw inside. You shouldn't eat.
Okay. Wow, viewers, as you have heard, the implant is not painful because they inject the anesthetic.
Yes, we do.
Okay. So, doctor, what kind? How many times do I have to return after the implant being put up? How many times? How often do I need to come back?
Okay. It tends to depend with the particular technique that the doctor will use. But in most cases, after the implant is put, you need to come back probably 2 weeks for a checkup, for a review.
Okay.
We want to see how the initial healing is. Sometimes if stitches are put, we want to remove them. Then after that, we give it like 3 months. So once the 3 months are over, you come for something we call an impression stage. So impression stage is where now we want to transfer exactly what is in your mouth to a model the lab technician can work on. So then the lab technician makes the final crown, which you put. So I'd say probably a minimum of 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
From the first day.
Okay, so for our dear viewers, let's say I'm working full time. So how long does it take? Maybe I don't have time to come and put up the the implant. How long does it take?
So the only day you take a long time to have the implant done is probably the first day.
Okay.
The first day and the impression day. Most people who do implants usually have a working arrangement with their clients or their customers or their patients. So they tell them, if you want an implant done, try and not come at a day when you have to go back to work. So you can either take a sick off, you can either come towards the weekend. Some people open on Sundays, some on Saturdays. So they can actually have a very flexible working agreement with whoever they're treating.
Okay.
But the follow-up appointments usually are maybe 15 minutes, 30 minutes long. So they can even come over lunch hour, afternoon, evening, early morning before they get to work.
Okay,
Yeah.
so maybe Avia will be asking, I've gotten the implant done, so how long will it take for it to heal? I don't want to start feeling pain in between the night, so
Okay.
how long?
Then the day the implant is put, depending on the technique the doctor uses. So we have 2 techniques. We have one where the gum is cut and then pushed aside. We call that raising a flap.
Okay.
Then we have a technique called flapless, where the doctor just prepares a small punch hole through the gum and then goes in and puts the implant. Now, the flapless is extremely painless, heals extremely fast.
Okay.
So that one, I've heard of patients say they didn't even need painkillers after. But when a flap is raised, possibility of having pain is high, so we usually give you analgesics. We give you painkillers, we give you antibiotics to make sure you don't get an infection, and we also give you a mouthwash to just make sure the mouth is clean.
Okay.
After. So as long as you're taking medication after, you shouldn't have an episode where you are experiencing. Actually, implants are so easy to do and less traumatic. An extraction would cause someone more pain than an implant would.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So
Okay.
I wouldn't be worried about the pain from an implant.
So can I restore my existing dental implant if my crown is already damaged?
Yes, but the dentist who will go to actually repair that particular crown that's damaged needs to know the manufacturer of the implant, needs to know the type. So each time an implant is done, the dentist will give you what is called an implant passport.
Okay.
An implant passport describes the manufacturer of the implant, the size and the dimensions of the implants, because all implants usually are categorized based on the diameter and the length.
Okay.
Because each site in the jaw can only accommodate a specific size. The front area, the bone is thin, we use thin implants. As you go towards the molars, the back areas, we use wider implants. So the dentist who will eventually replace that crown, because it has to come off, go and be repaired, then come back again. So he can only do that if he has the specific equipment to open that particular implant, and he can only do that if he knows the manufacturer of the implant. So if he knows the manufacturer, yes, it can be done. If he doesn't, he might have to refer you to whoever did the implant in the first place.
Okay.
Yes.
So when I come to the hospital, you've told us it?
Our clinic is called Wood Dental Clinic, but in Instagram we call ourselves Implants and Braces KE.
Okay.
So we are located in Kilimani, just it's on Wood Avenue, junction of Wood Avenue and the Agnes Kodek, right next to Yaya, and opposite the new Ola petrol station.
Okay.
Yes.
So when I come here, there, do I have to pay this in cash, or are there any other financing options?
Implants tend to be a bit costly on the side of the dentist. So some of us at times we'd like to give you a payment plan, which I think would work okay for the patient and for the dentist. So with a payment plan, there's a deposit you have to pay that covers at least most of the costs incurred by the dentist. And then they usually tell you, or we would tell you, you can pay back the balance in maybe 1, 2, or 3 installments. In some cases, you find the costs are a bit high, so someone will have to pay for the treatment one-off. Sometimes someone's bone is deficient, you need to do grafting, that kind of adds on to the cost. So yes, but a payment plan is dependent on the particular dentist you go to. And even the price would depend on the particular dentist you go to. In Kenya, the price ranges from maybe, some would probably charge you 80, 100,000.
Wow.
120, 150. I've heard of 180, 200, 250, 300. I've heard of all these prices. Usually I'm in the 100 range. I tend to think we're in Kenya, not Europe. So give a price that a Kenyan would probably, even though would be a bit hard, still within reach for them, right? And then you give them a payment plan. You can probably tell them to pay like 50% of the payment the day the procedure is starting. Then they clear the balance in 3 months. Yeah, and then also Kenyans, which is quite understandable, they would find it hard to trust someone with such a huge amount up front. So to tell you, how sure am I if I pay you this, and then I go away for 3 months, I'll find you, or the implant will heal. So some of them just want the assurance that I still owe you and you owe me. So that way, none of us can run away from each other. At the end of the 3 months, yes, they have a guarantee that the treatment will go well.
Okay, as our dear viewers, you've heard Dr. Kibera can sort you out 50%. So you can visit his clinic. So doctor, about braces, what are braces? Machuma. The colors, pink, green.
Okay, so braces usually is more of the term that's known to the public as braces.
Okay.
But for us dentists, we know it as orthodontic treatment.
Okay.
And the individual metallic components you see on someone's teeth, we call them brackets. Okay. I think with time, brackets poured into braces in terms of the now people talking, but they actually call brackets. And the treatment is called orthodontic treatment. So most times we call it ortho in short form. So these are metallic components which you attach to your teeth at particular points, and then you have a wire that's attaching all of them. Now the theory is this. If your teeth are not aligned well, people usually know their teeth are not aligned well and they look at themselves on a mirror. They see their teeth are a bit crooked, some are coming too much in front, some are rotated. So when they go to the dentist attaches the brackets at specific parts of the teeth, usually probably middle part. And then now the orthodontic wires are usually either a curve, a parabola. So when this wire is adapted to teeth that are not aligned, it's crooked. So, but this wire has been made using NiTi technology from a manufacturer. So the wire remembers its shape, it has shape memory. So once it's put on the teeth, and then it's given a long time, months, we're speaking months, probably 6, 9, 12 months, or sometimes even more, the wire tends to unwind and wants to go back to the original form the manufacturer put it at. So these are very tiny forces, and what they do, a tiny force applied to the tooth usually kickstarts a series of signals and mechanisms. So the bone begins to remodel to accommodate these forces. Eventually, the teeth resemble the form of the wire. So that is what braces basically aims to achieve.
Wow,
Yes.
I love that. So how often will my adjustments be once I have the braces?
Most braces treatments require you come for a checkup like probably once a month. Now, how many of these visits there will be depends on how long your treatment will take.
Okay.
Remember, how long your treatment will take depends on the complexity of your case and also the compliance of you, the patient. We have patients who you put braces on, they vanish, they disappear. They probably go to another country, they come back in a year. So the treatment usually stops if they don't come back, because you need to activate, you need to, braces tends to resemble like a growing child. You need to intervene and guide them on which direction to go. Sometimes the teeth move in one direction, which you really want to change. So if they come every other month, you're able to intercept, you're able to guide them well. And each time you put, there are these two small ties, rubber ties, we put around the bracket to secure the wire to the bracket. So these ties lose strength over the month.
Okay.
They lose the elasticity. So you need to keep on changing them to kind of rejuvenate the strength and the movement of the wire. So if this is done monthly and you come for your appointments on time as requested by the particular orthodontist or dentist, the treatment should progress in a timely fashion, and probably within 6, 9, 12 months you should be over.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens if my treatment runs over my estimated time?
As I've said, your treatment could go beyond your estimated time if there was a problem probably with your compliance in terms of you coming for checkups, or sometimes we can't tell the bone density simply from an x-ray. Some people have teeth that move fast, some people have teeth that move slow. Usually the younger someone is, the faster the teeth move. If someone is a bit older, like 30 plus, they move a bit slower. But if it goes beyond the extended time, you shouldn't worry. If you can still see some degree of movement and you can still see progress from like where you came from. Usually, the timeline we give you is an estimate, not a guarantee.
Okay.
Ikifika maybe 6 months, 12 months from now, we are going to remove them. And we usually give this advice especially to people who want braces because of a huge event in future, a graduation or a wedding. They kind of put pressure and they tell you, the wedding is next week. And it's still on braces. So you find in such cases, they actually make the dentist remove the braces before the treatment is over. Understandably, then once the wedding is over, get them back to the braces. But by then, the teeth have moved to a large extent. So I would say it's an estimate you're given in terms of the time based on the experience of the particular dentist, the kind of complexity of the case,
Yes.
and the compliance of the particular patient. So there's a whole host of factors which have to be taken into account before you tell someone this is going to take 6 months, this is going to take 9 months, it's going to take 12 months. And it requires patience on both sides. Patience on the patient's part, patience on the dentist's part.
Okay, so once I have my braces on, how much of discomfort will there be? Because I'm not used to these braces, by the way.
Okay, I would have to say braces are not the most comfortable thing you'll wear, for sure. So let's say braces are put today. The initial period when teeth are moved from their rest position, which they have been for your life ever since they came out. So once they start moving, that initiation of movement is characterized by some degree of discomfort. I'd say probably a bit of pain. Huh? So for us to mitigate against that, usually give painkillers the first week or two. And then once the teeth start moving, you tend to notice they're not as strong as they were before. So we don't recommend you eat very hard things. So your regular nyama choma, your KFC, you might not be able to handle that. It raises. So yeah, you might be on rice, ugali, mashed, food which is not too hard. And we give the same recommendation to children who are going to school. We can give a letter to the admin or someone in school and tell them, this child is on braces, so don't give them the that you usually give them all the time, the hard one. Give them something softer. So, because as a tooth starts to move, it doesn't have the same strength as a firm fixed tooth. Even, case in point, your chair has wheels, that chair doesn't have wheels. You can stand on that chair and fix a light. You cannot dare do that on a moving chair. Exactly. So if something is moving, it doesn't have as much force and resistance to be able to accommodate or overcome huge forces. So once someone has braces, they usually tend to discover that they can't actually eat hard things. This is quite normal, it's quite understandable. So, and after some time, they usually get used to it, and it's no longer a problem, they adapt.
Okay,
Yeah.
so maybe I love playing sports, and I put off my braces, so will that affect, maybe I get heat?
So it depends on the sports. Chess is a sport.
Okay, let's say
some
something
video games
like hockey.
If it's a contact sports, contact sports in which you're likely to either come across physical aggravation in terms of your movement. Normally, when you have braces on your teeth, as I've said, they tend to be a bit weak compared to like teeth which don't have braces. So if you do engage in a sport that is likely to cause injury to your teeth, for sure, we wouldn't recommend you do it when you have braces. If you really have to, a mouth guard would come in handy. But a mouth guard with braces is quite hard because a mouth guard, the fit of a mouth guard relies on a tooth that has very smooth surfaces. Now, braces introduce a lot of roughness and a lot of surface incongruity in terms of a tooth. So even taking the mold on someone with braces is quite tough. So you can't get a mouth guard with braces. I haven't seen that happening. Yeah, if you're on you kind of have to weigh. Is it sports or is it braces? Pick your priority, but just do the braces first, finish. If the sport isn't much of a contact sport, or let's say you're playing soccer and you're sure you won't have much movement or you won't have anything coming near to your teeth. Yeah, we've actually seen footballers who have braces and actually play. So it's quite possible. But something like probably rugby, Something very physical like boxing. People want to box. You know you're going to receive jabs on your head.
Yeah.
I don't recommend you have braces.
Okay.
We haven't done studies to see how a punch on the face would impact your braces movement. We probably wouldn't go as planned. You probably need more visits.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do I need to have my wisdom teeth taken out prior to getting the braces?
So the answer to that highly depends on your age.
Okay.
Most times we have children getting braces from an age of 12 to 13. Now, at an age of 12 to 13, your wisdom teeth aren't yet out in the mouth. Usually, the wisdom teeth come from an age of probably 16, 18 to at least 23, 4 there.
Yeah.
So if someone is getting braces at that age of maybe 18, and we can see there's an X-ray we take called an OPG. It's like a panoramic X-ray of the mouth. If you see your teeth have have crowding, like they simply don't have space, especially in front. And then we see the wisdom teeth are what we call impacted.
Okay.
And impacted wisdom teeth is a tooth that didn't come out fully upright because your jaw is smaller, so it came out tilting towards the front. And if you have crowding, then we'd actually come to the conclusion there's no way we can move these teeth back if those wisdom teeth are there. So we'd go ahead and remove them first to do the braces. But if you're 12, 13, and your wisdom teeth is barely appearing on the X-ray, it's not even there in the mouth, yeah, we'll go ahead with the braces without having to interfere with them. Then when the wisdom teeth come, we'll assess them. Is the space there? Is the wisdom teeth growing correctly? If it's not, they usually tend to be removed. If they are, we can leave them as long as we have space in the mouth.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
So I can see a viewer asking, can I start treatment if I have a periodontal disease?
Periodontal disease and braces usually don't go well together. We'd highly recommend you get seen by a periodontist, a hygienist first. They need to clear tartar, plaque, any kind of periodontal disease you have, and then you go to the braces. This is the reason. Now, braces make it hard for you to brush your teeth. Because a tooth as it is quite smooth. The texture is quite smooth. Now, if you add a bracket to the tooth and then a wire on top of it, so you've introduced a lot of what we call plaque retentive surfaces. A toothbrush cannot clean a tooth with a bracket well. So if you have periodontal disease, which is caused primarily by accumulating food, not cleaning it well, and then you add a bracket on that, it's like probably adding petrol to a fire. You're just making a condition worse.
Okay.
So get the periodontal disease treated first, then get the braces done. And even if you have the braces done, you should have regular visits where the periodontal status has to be checked. And in some cases, if the periodontal disease is a bit advanced, we say you're a contraindication to having braces. We can't give you braces if your teeth are already weak from losing bone and attachment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I want to get braces and I fear my speech getting affected, will it get affected?
In the initial phase, I'd say yes, because you see, once you have braces on your mouth, they add a bit of bulk to the teeth. So they make, if your tooth is stopping here, then you add a bracket here. So the lip has an extra layer to cover before they meet. So in the initial phase, your speech would be affected, but with time, your muscles, your nerves tend to accommodate. The body is quite, can I say, flexible in terms of any kind of injury or any kind of load you throw to it. It tends to adapt and begins to assume a form that takes into account these new state of affairs. So yeah, it will tend to adapt. Your speech may be a bit altered, but still, you can be able to almost match your original voice, but somehow distorted with the braces. But not too much that it's noticeable, only that you'd feel there's a bit more bulk in my teeth than before.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So you've said that there are foods that we should avoid. So could you at least name for us those types of food, and maybe can I eat ice? I think.
Okay, I was about to ask you can eat ice. Okay, ice. Ice cubes, quite hard. Even with the normal teeth, I don't recommend someone choose ice cubes. Okay, ice cream is quite soft. So if your teeth are not sensitive, you can, but usually we are not pro ice cream too much because of the sugar. Now, the foods you need to avoid, whether or not you need to take this particular food or not, depends on the hardness or the texture of that particular food. So if the food is quite hard, and we know we have some foods that are hard, take into consideration maybe nyama choma, roast meat. Sometimes roast meat can be hard. Take for example hard things like sugarcane. Sometimes apples tend to be hard, the pears tend to be hard. Peanuts, nuts, macadamia nuts in general are hard. So you can't comfortably chew hard things the way you used to before. You can't just take njugu and throw it in your mouth and chew it. So you find you need to stick to softer food. So like fish is soft, you can actually consume fish. Rice tends to be soft. Ugali, hot ugali from the Sufuria, not the one that stayed overnight and then you're coming to like chew the next day. No. So if food is soft, but usually the teeth themselves give you the indication. If you bite on something and it's not painful, yeah, that's a yes. That's a green light. Proceed and eat that food. If you bite on this particular food and it's too uncomfortable, you might want to keep off that food until you're off the braces.
So what oral hygiene items do I need to buy for my braces after I've put up my braces?
So we have these brushes called interdental brushes. So an interdental brush, I'll try and describe it as much as I can. So an interdental brush differs from how your regular toothbrush looks like. A regular toothbrush it has a long plastic handle and has an active end with bristles coming out from that surface. So it's designed such that it can brush maybe 2, 3, 4 teeth at a go, depending on the size of the brush. An interdental brush is a shaft that has bristles radiating from its length. So an interdental brush is designed such that you can hold it with 2 fingers, and then it can easily go between the spaces of the teeth. You can apply some paste on it, so it can be able to reach beyond the spaces between the brackets and the wire and the teeth, such that you can be able to at least clean those surfaces. Because a regular brush is very hard to use when you have braces. Then we have these devices called water picks. Now, a water pick is a plastic device. It's an electronic device that can accommodate water and usually produces water with high pressure, with a jet. So a water pick can be able to like aim at, because most of the food that traps between brackets and teeth is very soft food, so food that doesn't offer much resistance towards removing. So if you direct a powerful water jet towards where the food deposits are, it's usually like thrown out from there. So we'd recommend using an interdental brush to loosen the food articles, and then now use the water pick to like flush it out. And then you can actually even use a mouthwash, which I highly recommend, because a mouthwash is antibacterial, so it keeps the bacteria in the mouth low. Some of the mouthwashes coat the tooth with a substance that makes it hard for plaque to attach to the teeth, so that would make it easy, or rather make it hard for food to attach and make it easy for you, the patient, to clean.
Okay, so dear viewers, we're going to take a short break. You can talk to us on our social media pages, on Nisi Television, all social media pages, Facebook, Nisi Television, Instagram, Nisi Television, Twitter, Nisi Television, and on our website page, www.nisitelevision.co.ke. Let's take a break.
Right next to Sunshine Duvoine. We are selling plots going for a super special offer, Sanitizer Gardens. And don't forget, all these plots have ready title deeds. Call us on 0714-717-777 or 0727-779-777. Changamka, chukua hatua, jiinue na ploti, lipa mdogo mdogo. The Fortune Gardens, jinue na ploti.
Handa itunda rĩa wega mũtũrĩre-inĩ waku, utakwenda kumenya no kaũrĩha ona ngĩkorwo. Mimi naitwa Zakari Njoroge, mwimbaji wa nyimbo za Injili na unatazama Nisi TV, the house of Lest.
What is good health? How do we attain and maintain healthy living? We have answers concerning communicable, lifestyle, genetic and non-genetic diseases. Join me, Cecilia Mwariri, and our medical experts every Wednesday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. for informative and educative conversations. This is the 911 show on Nisi Television, where we transform lives through media.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Hello, everybody. It's a sound of praise and worship to whom created us. Join me, Joy Temba, every Sunday morning from 6:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. live on Nisi Television for live Sunday service that is filled with the presence of God through worship, word, and encouragement. If you gotta be for me, we'll love you, Lord. You will live for.
Welcome back to the 911 show, where we get to talk about our health, and today we are talking about the teeth. How do you get to smile more? And our topic today are on implants and braces, and today we have Dr. Kibera as he talks about more on that. He's an expert on implant and braces. So Dr. Kibera.
Thank you again.
Yes, as we continue, there are questions here. What are there less visible options for braces?
Yes, we have two options for braces that are not as visible as the metallic ones. The first option are ceramic braces. Now, ceramic braces usually are white, so they match the color of your teeth, and they have a white wire.
Okay.
So you still get the same degree of bulk as the metallic braces, but now for the ceramic braces, when someone looks at them, they usually see, they're not sure if they're seeing something extra on your teeth or not. So you don't feel as self-conscious as you would if you have the metallic braces. And then I'd like to also mention this. Children would prefer metallic braces. For kids, it's a fad. It's something they want to be seen with. For adults, they don't want to be seen with, so they would prefer ceramic braces. Now, the next category of aligners that are not that conspicuous, we call them clear aligners.
Okay.
Now, clear aligners, you've probably heard of the term Invisalign.
Okay, you could kindly define for us.
So, clear aligners are made up of a clear, plasticky kind of material that you wear on your teeth. So it's made in a way such that it wants to move your teeth from this alignment to the following alignment. Usually it's done, you wear a set for like 2 weeks, and you probably wear maybe 10, 14 sets. But clear aligners are usually a bit slower than metallic ones. So it's a compromise. If you want to have braces if you don't mind being seen with braces, but you want them to do it fast, or you do mind to be seen with braces, so you want clear aligners or ceramic brackets, and then risk that will probably take a much longer time than the metallic brackets. And then they're a bit more costlier.
Okay, yes. There are people who are wondering, will you still sort as the implants? How much do braces cost?
So for braces, cost, there's a range, but cost usually depends on the case. So we have like simple cases, usually they would go between maybe 40, 50,000 per jaw. So that would probably be around 80, 100, sometimes on 20, on 50,000. That highly depends on the case and the duration it takes. Yes.
Okay, so what happens after your braces are removed?
So after the braces are removed, remember, you can't trick the body. The body has a definite genetic code. It knows exactly where the eyes are, that's why the eyes are there, and the nose is. And if it grew your teeth in a malaligned way, as you're growing up, it tends to take you back to that kind of alignment. So what we usually recommend you do with braces, once the braces are out, we usually put what we call retainers.
Retainers.
Yeah. So retainer is a small wire. We have two types of retainers. We have either fixed or removable. So a fixed retainer is a wire we put behind your teeth, and then it attaches either the forefront or the for the front teeth, either the 4 or the 6 from canine to canine. So this fixes them all together. If they're all fixed, they can't move. But if they're left individually, they can move. We do that for the upper and the lower. That keeps the teeth at their position for quite a long time until the body is adapted to this new state of affairs. We still have removable retainers. We don't recommend removable that much. Highly depends on some compliance for you to remember to wear them. And if you don't, the cost is the teeth go back to how they were. Then to correct that, it's braces again. So I would recommend fixed retainers.
Oh, you would recommend fixed? Huh?
Yes.
So maybe I have a child and their teeth are somehow, so they need braces. So at what age should my child get the braces?
The age you recommend for children to get braces is when most or all of the deciduous teeth have come out. So that's an age of probably around 12 to 13. It's an ideal age. And then at that age also, we want the roots of the permanent teeth that are already in the mouth to have closed. You don't want to start moving teeth before the teeth are fully mature. So an age of 12 to 13, I say, is ideal.
Oh, it's ideal?
Yeah. Okay.
So do braces do anything, any other thing apart from improving my smile?
Like in terms of, they want to find out if they can use braces for something else?
Yeah. Is there any other reason?
Yeah. We can actually use braces for a number of reasons. In some people, you'd find that we don't usually just improve the alignment of teeth because of how someone sees them, aesthetics. Sometimes we improve the alignment of teeth because of other reasons. Number one is health, and number two is function. So in terms of health, if you have teeth which are crooked, they're hard to clean. So if they're hard to clean, they get decay quite easily. If they get decay quite easily, you will get cavities. Cavities mean sensitivity, they mean pain, they mean infections. So an added incentive of doing braces is to align teeth in order to make them easy to clean. Yes, and then sometimes someone doesn't benefit from teeth, from biting, mostly because the teeth are not meeting fully as they should. Some are outside the bite, some are inside. So braces would bring the teeth together such that now this person can actually benefit from chewing with all or most of the teeth. So improving function is a reason we do braces. Health reasons to avoid decay. And also, if teeth are malaligned, they trap food a lot, which, as I've said, would cause cavities. Another thing they would cause is gum disease, periodontitis. Gingivitis or periodontitis. So you would actually align these teeth to reduce the degree to which they accumulate plaque, and then that would eliminate the periodontal disease.
Okay, so
yes.
How often will the follow-up be? Follow-up for the after I've put up the braces? So
the follow-up of the braces is dependent on how long the case will take, and also dependent on the compliance of the patient. Because if you agree that they're supposed to come once every month, they should maintain those monthly appointments. Otherwise, if they don't come for the monthly appointments, the teeth may start moving in a direction the orthodontist or dentist did not actually foresee. And by the time the person comes back, it's an extra chore or an extra effort trying to get them back in line to complete. So the number of visits depends on the complexity of the case and the compliance. If the case is taking 9 months, you can say that's 9 visits because it's once a month. If it's taking 12, you can extrapolate. If it's taking 18 months.
Okay.
Yes.
You've said for the implants, you have to inject the anesthetic. Now,
definitely.
Okay. What about braces? Does it hurt?
No, putting braces doesn't hurt at all.
Okay.
You just have to clean your teeth a bit,
Uh-huh.
condition the teeth is something called an etchant, put a bond, put an adhesive, put the brackets, we're done.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no other take with braces.
So how long does it take to work the braces?
It highly depends on the case.
Uh-huh.
Some cases are simple, even 4 or 5 months done. Some are more complex, going 6, 8, 9 months. Some would probably take longer. Depends on the age of the particular individual. If someone is younger, that 12, 13, 16 age gap, those one braces usually take a short time to work. If someone is older, 30, 40 plus, we have adults who have braces. For adults, it takes longer to do. And then type of the braces. Some braces would take a long time to finish a case. Some would take a short time. Yes. So it's dependent on so many factors. So I would say it's case specific.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. So I can see of you asking here, are my braces really that bad?
Are the braces that bad? I wouldn't call braces bad or good. I would just say if they're efficient or not. Can they do the work or not? If something is bad or good, it's highly subjective. Do you want metallic braces? Do you want ceramic? Do you want clear liners? Then in addition to that, we have the ties that we put around the braces. So do you want pink ones? Are you a girl? You want pink ones? You want purple ones? For men, they probably want black ties, blue ties. So I wouldn't call them bad per se, and they're customizable in terms of the ties. You can get the color you want, the color of the bracket you want, so as not to call them bad. I think they're good. They align our teeth, so I wouldn't call them bad.
Okay, viewers, I can see you're watching. I can see Agi Gadu, you're saying following. Isaac Wawero watching. Agote Alphas tuned in from Busia. Wow. I can see people are watching us from around all Kenya, all Kenyan parts. So I can see also Irene Nyarwera Warui tuned in from Riru, Louis Derrick following, and I can see a question here, Doctor. Yes. Why are dental cases so many during the cold seasons?
When someone says dental cases are many during the cold season, I would assume they are referring to either dental pain or sensitivity. It's a lot during the cold season for a number of reasons. But chief among them is this: when it's cold, the degree to which your nerves conduct impulses is increased. So if they couldn't detect a certain stimuli when it's warm, when it's cold they can, because their nerve conductivity is higher when it's cold. Okay. And then look at the case of cavities. If you have a cavity that's close to the part of the tooth we call the pulp that has the nerves, the cavity makes it easier for maybe cold water to come close to the sensory part of the tooth, the pulp. Now, when it's cold, this pulp is conducting faster, and I think when it's cold, the water you get from the environment is generally a bit colder. So now you become more aware of the cavities you have, because now you have more pain, you have more sensitivity. Okay. But alignment issues will not be affected by cold. I don't think so. Yes, I don't think implants would be affected by cold also.
Okay.
Yes.
I can also see a question here. What conditions of teeth that needs braces and can't be fixed using other methods? I don't know if you've understood the question. What conditions of teeth needs braces and can't be fixed using other methods? So
I would assume he's basically asking, he needs me to talk about a specific condition that only braces can solve and nothing else can solve. And the answer to that would be alignment. Okay. Usually if someone has an alignment problem, either excessive spacing, crowding, rotation, disharmony between the jaws, how the upper jaw and the lower jaw relates, braces would actually solve that, and not other kind of treatment modalities. Now, in adults, someone may have minor crowding, minor spacing. That can be easily solved by veneers or crowns as opposed to braces, especially if they don't want the braces root because of time. But for clear-cut cases of crowding, clear-cut cases of spacing, discrepancy between jaw size, tooth size, discrepancy between how the upper jaw and the lower jaw relate, I would say only braces can solve that.
Okay.
Yes.
The other question is, can I get the braces if I have dental implants?
Getting braces with dental implants is dependent on a number of factors. Now, an implant, as I pointed out, is a fixed tooth replacement. that's put in your jaw by means of having a titanium fixture in your jawbone. Now, braces involves moving teeth through the bone. Now, where moving tooth comes across an implant, the movement stops. Because the implants don't move. And you cannot put braces on an implant. Can't work. So now, you find in some cases, someone needs braces. Usually, if someone has to have braces or implants, I would recommend start with braces first.
Okay.
Have the braces move the teeth to where you want. Then once you have these gaps where you want to put the implants and you're sure the braces treatment is either in its final stages or completed, that's the point you put an implant. Because once you put an implant, you cannot move teeth in that location. Because the implants wouldn't accommodate any movement. They are fixed. They don't move.
Okay.
Yeah, so start with braces first. Have them done, completed. Or when they are almost being completed, the implants can be done.
Okay.
Because at that point, we're quite sure we won't have a situation where the teeth will come and collide with the implant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does it cost the same price to put on braces if one has their own brackets? That's from a viewer.
Hey, Kenyan. The cost of braces is independent on the cost of the brackets.
Okay.
It's more of the labor cost, the skill of the person doing it. So if you come with your own brackets, the dentist first of all, how do you know the brackets you have are the ones that the dentist will use? Because specific brackets are chosen for specific reasons, and different dentists train on different kinds of brackets. So you wouldn't go to purchase, first of all, where would you buy them from? Because most of our suppliers only sell to like dental professionals. You don't know where to get them from, if they will work or not. You cannot be your own doctor. You can't prescribe your own brackets. It's a bit hard for you to actually do that.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like telling a hospital, if I need a heart transplant, if I go get my own heart, you can't still charge me the same price. No, how do you know which heart to get? Have you done like studies on markers? Do you know whether there's going to be rejection between you and that? So this is the one place I would tell people, if you're not comfortable trusting a particular individual with having the treatment, go to someone who's probably recommended or trusted, but just let them do their work. Because someone who would come with their own brackets would now start beginning to tell you, no, I want this tooth to move this way, move this one this way. So they'd actually make the treatment more complex and probably delay a bit more. And if it goes wrong, they now bring the problems to the doctor and tell them, you should have known better, you should have told me. So we've had such cases. So it's the goal of the doctor to kind of advise the patient and tell them, look, the doctor is qualified to do this and they have the experience in doing it.
So you've had cases where people will come with their brackets?
No, I haven't had someone who came with their brackets, but I've had that question before. You know, the world nowadays is quite open. Information is available to everyone at no cost at all. It's free. So you have someone who can easily go to their phone, internet, and can be able to Google cost of brackets. And they can see in China they probably cost this much. Okay, why is this doctor charging me this much and the brackets are costing me this much? Okay, so the cost of brackets is dependent on, it's more of the labor of the one who's doing it, of the doctor, his experience, his skill, because he actually went to school to do this. But the treatment is taking like a year or longer. So even if you came with brackets that are probably worth 5,000 or 10,000 shillings, and then you're trying to negotiate and tell them, no, you can't charge me 100, and I saw these things cost like 1,000 or 2,000 on Alibaba. Go to Alibaba. If they can treat you from China, fine, you go there. So it's actually the labor that goes into the work being done. It's not the cost of the bracket is actually negligible in terms of the overall cost of the treatment. Is in the skill and the knowledge of the person doing it. Because you have to keep on coming every month. They have to adjust. They have to make sure everything is coming out well. They have to make sure the forces are balanced. They have to know, how do you know which wire to use? You don't know anything about gauges, about you can't. So tell them this is the one place where they can actually just calm down, allow the doctor to do what they want, to do what is necessary. Then once the treatment is over, They will be happy because this is not a place where you can actually do it yourself. I don't recommend that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how much does dental bracelet placement cost in Kenya?
The cost of the braces, as I'd mentioned, would vary from one practitioner to the other. I know some people charge as low as even maybe 70, 80. Some would probably charge way higher, even 150, 200. So it highly depends on the particular individual, their skill, their experience, and what they generally charge. So, but I'd say the price range is between maybe 80, 100 to maybe 150, 200.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see a viewer asking here, can teeth be replaced permanently?
Teeth?
Yeah, teeth.
First of all, on that question, we've had a number of situations where someone actually goes to the dentist and tells them, I don't like my teeth. Can you remove all of them and then you put new ones? So for that, we usually tell them, no, we can't. Your teeth, natural as they are the best ever teeth you'll ever get. Natural always comes ahead of anything else. So we always do implants in cases where you do not have a tooth, or your teeth are so compromised that they are hopeless. We don't see you staying with them over the next few months or years. But we cannot touch a natural tooth that is God-given, that is healthy, no disease, no pathology, and remove it and then give it something artificial. First of all, anything artificial has shortcomings which natural probably teeth do not have. Something artificial doesn't have its own blood supply. It has a bit of roughness. The body doesn't accept it sometimes, so we keep natural things the way they are until they are compromised. Remember, our field, dentistry, is a man-made approach or attempt towards solving a problem with nature. So teeth are natural, but once you have cavities, now as the dentists come to advance you an artificial solution to a natural problem. So we don't come and replace something natural. And the people who tell that to us, we kind of keep away from them. Just tell them, we really can't do this. Because you can't easily go to an orthopedic surgeon and tell him, I don't like my right hand. Itoe, nieke plastic. First of all, that person has not been in the world where they don't have a hand. So they don't know the difficulties of having something artificial. Artificial items tend to want to approach nature, but they're usually far off. Even a tooth filling or a tooth crown would not be 100% as comfortable as a natural tooth. They would not. So we only do that in the cases where your natural ones are compromised by either decay, alignment, fluorosis. Maybe someone grew up in like Rongai, Ngong, Baringo, Nakuru, and the teeth are brown. So that one would actually do veneers on because they don't like how the teeth look like. Yes, there we can intervene because intervention improves the quality of life of this particular individual. But natural teeth, we remove them, put implants. And that's, first of all, it would be unethical, and then we'd leave the patient in a worse off condition than before, which goes against our profession and our principles. Okay,
now on that, about the stained brown teeth, how much does it cost to clean up the stained teeth?
First of all, there's this term that goes around with the public. Usually term is as cleaning, kosher. And us in dentistry, we know cleaning as something else. Cleaning is something we call scaling. Now, scaling is something we do to eliminate, it's a procedure us dentists do to eliminate plaque, leftover food that has calcified and stayed in your mouth for too long, caused gum disease. So that is what we term as cleaning. So I always want to make that clear between me and whoever I'm talking to. If you say you are cleaning, I want to know why. Because if someone with brown teeth sits there and you do the cleaning that I know, then they wake up and look at a mirror. I mean, no. You've cleaned my teeth. Why are they still brown? So now fluorosis affects teeth when someone is young. When someone is like 1-2 years old and they're growing up, they consume water, borehole water mostly. And now we have borehole water in most of our flats. So we consume borehole water that's not been filtered, so it has high levels of fluoride. Now the fluoride gets into the bloodstream, gets into the jawbone. Now fluoride has a very high reactivity index. Now tooth structure, the enamel, the white, good white pearly color of enamel comes from a substance called hydroxyapatite.
Okay.
So it's made up of hydrogen, hydroxy. Now, fluorine or fluoride has a higher reactivity index than this particular hydroxyapatite. So it replaces it. It kicks it from the equation, then imposes itself. Now, any halogen, iodine, bromine, fluoride, all of them are brown in color.
Okay.
Better in solution, mouthwash is brown. Iodine is brown. So fluoride would be brown also. So instead of the tooth coming out as white, pearly white, it comes out as brown.
Okay.
So the defect affects the tooth when it's in the jaw forming. So by the time the tooth comes into the mouth, it's affected. And the effect mostly ends there. So people tend to think that the teeth will become more browner. No, once imetoka, it's fixed. It can't become any more browner. But fluoride in water, if you consume it now, has the effect of probably making your teeth a bit stronger. That's why you have, but it has to be low levels. So that's why you have fluoride in toothpaste, you have fluoride in mouthwashes. Now, back to your question. Now, when someone comes with brown teeth, I would scientifically call them teeth with fluorosis, and they're requesting treatment. So there's a range of procedures we can do, but cleaning is not one of them. Okay, let me just make that clear. Cleaning is not one of them. So we can actually do something called microabrasion. So microabrasion is where we usually take a diamond bar, selectively reduce the brown stains. Sometimes if they're so superficial, so thin, and they're on top of the tooth, a few seconds of doing that eliminates the problem.
Okay.
But the most, and then we can even do something we call masking. Now masking is combining microabrasion and now using composite resin that has a white color to now come and replace the lost tooth structure that's been removed by the microabrasion. And then we have something called veneers. So veneers and masking are more or less the same thing, just that masking is done on the patient, and veneers are now done in lab. Like you come the first day, the dentist does the reduction of the brown layer. So that he eliminates the layer basically. But now by doing that, he's reduced the size of the teeth. So the tooth is a bit thinner and probably has lost a bit more shape. So he'd like to come and replace that with a ceramic, artificial ceramic. Okay. We either use Emax, feldspathic porcelain, or we use zirconia. Now, once these ceramics have the shape and the color we desire, we want. So we appoint the patient at a later date where we come and cement them. So we can do it for a number of teeth, all the teeth that the patient can be seen with. If they smile, you want nothing to show in terms of the brownness of their teeth. Okay. So sometimes we do 16, 20 teeth. I had someone yesterday requesting for 26.
Oh, okay.
28, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because fluorosis tends to affect some. Yeah. If you haven't had fluorosis, you wouldn't know what it's like to have it. Like, if you don't have a physical disability, you do not know the psychological profile of someone who's with the physical disability. You don't know how the esteem takes a beating from just having the brown teeth. So most of the people with fluorosis, they're not loud. They do not talk. In any social event, they do not have friends. They tend to think people are just looking at how bad their teeth are. Sometimes people don't even care about their teeth. They're not as concerned as this person thinks. And most of them have very strong lips. Their lips are strong, they're muscular. You know why? Because of concealing the teeth.
Okay.
Yeah, so their lips are so strong that if you try and even pry them open with your fingers, you can't.
Okay.
If they decide you're not opening their mouth, you won't. And most of them spend their entire lives without smiling. So if you look at their Instagram pages, no smile, no teeth.
Okay.
If you look at any of their pictures, no teeth. So that is what fluorosis does to someone who, to the esteem or the psychology of someone who's had the misfortune of suffering from them. So when someone tells you they want to change all their teeth from the brown color to a white one, believe me, they have had their whole life to think about it, and it's exactly what they want.
Okay. Yes. I can see Isaac Wawiro asking, what are the do's and don'ts when you get the braces?
Do's and don'ts with braces. I'd say with braces, first of all, they make it harder for you to clean your teeth. So it means you have to go overboard in terms of trying to clean your teeth. You have to really try to make sure your teeth are cleaner. So those, you go buy an interdental brush, go buy a water pick, go buy a mouthwash. Usually these are prescribed by the dentist, so that this enables you to clean your teeth better. Avoid hard things, as I said. Avoid hard food. It will be uncomfortable. It will be cracker. And tafadhali, avoid anything sugary. Okay? If you used to take biscuits and cakes before, now you clearly cannot take any of them, because your ability to clean teeth is reduced. It's compromised. So if you have a lot of sugar on your teeth with braces, you will get cavities extremely quickly. So we highly recommend you avoid sugary items.
Okay.
You can take them once in a while in a birthday party. If you know too many people and you are in birthday parties every week, too bad for you. Yeah, but for an event, a wedding, you can do cake. As I've said, if you know too many people and you're having weddings every now and then, I mean, if you work for a company that does weddings, tafadhali, stick to the mchele. Don't take cake too often.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see a viewer taking us back to implants. Are dental implants permanent?
Yes, actually, if done well, everything went well to the surgical stage, and when the crown was put, it was put in a way that it was in harmony with the rest of the teeth in terms of biting and everything. It's actually meant to stay there for good.
Okay.
Unless something happens to the implant itself and it fails and comes out, it should stick there for good. It should be permanent.
Okay. Now,
Yes.
this question is from me. Can anyone get the dental implant?
No.
Okay.
No.
Why?
Not anyone. There are particular groups we've identified as not suitable for having implants. Age is the first reason. We don't do implants for anyone who's less than 18 or 20.
Okay.
Yeah. As you grow up, your face is increasing in height. Your face is becoming vertically elongated. A small child's head is like this. An adult's head is larger. So if you put an implant on a small child, which is unethical, I have to say, but if you put an implant on a small child, the place you've put the implant on never grows. So you'd find that the rest of the teeth growing down, but the implant stays high up. So you'd find someone with an implant high up, and then the rest of the teeth are down. And that's fixed, so you have to remove it surgically. So someone who's too young, we don't do implants. So it has to be at least 18 or 20. Someone who's too old, someone is 80 or 90. Yeah. Why are you giving them like a 30-year plan for something? Their body's already weak, frail, and we have to be honest, they probably don't have that much to live. So it's not okay to subject them to. Okay, in some cases you can, especially if this person is adamant they want it, and their health is good, you can. Now, for health reasons, someone who has uncontrolled diabetes, as chronic smokers, someone who does 1-2 packs a day, they don't do well with implants. They don't heal with them. Someone who has chronic diabetes, has severe periodontal disease, someone who doesn't take care of their teeth at all, because these people are there. We don't recommend they get implants because the probability of the implant failing in such a person is high. So someone on specific treatment, in some cases, if you have cancer, and then you have radiotherapy, chemotherapy, it tends to introduce a state of low healing for you. So especially for the upper jaw, for the jaws, if someone has had radiotherapy and they had cancer, and then you go there putting your implants, probability of them having an infection from the implant is high. Yeah, it's quite high. If someone has an existing infection or pathology, a tumor in the jaw, we don't recommend doing an implant.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have a number of cases where we don't recommend, but for most people between an age of 20 or 80 who are healthy, there's one category I didn't mention. People with unrealistic demands.
Okay.
Like people who want the implant to match the natural tooth to the final detail.
Okay.
Best to avoid them because they actually would cause a lot of unrealistic deadlines. I want to fly to the US next week. I want to go to Canada next week. An implant needs 3 months or 3 to 6 months of follow-up and healing before you can decide this is good. So if someone comes and puts deadline or pressure too much before the day they're supposed to fly somewhere, highly advisable to avoid them. So yeah, not everyone can get an implant. Most people can. 80-90% of the population can. but yeah, not everyone can.
Okay, I can see a question from Paul Gregory. What are the side effects for braces and the comfort? What are they?
So in the initial period, braces tends to be uncomfortable. As the teeth start to move, that phase of treatment from rest to movement, as the torque of the wire takes effect, you have discomfort, pain, like they would feel like they're some low-lying dull pain. So as I said, we give painkillers for that. Then as the teeth start moving, they're a bit weaker. So each time they try and eat something hard, it's a bit uncomfortable and painful, so I don't recommend they do that. And then, as I've said, the braces make the mouth seem like it's too full, like the lips are pushed in front. So that would maybe mess up with their speech a bit. Initially, it's not so noticeable. It's like I told you to speak if you had something in your mouth. So your speech would be a bit altered. Like we would tell you have something in the mouth, but it's not such that you cannot tell someone to switch on a light if you need the light switched on. You can be able to convey talk. It will be your voice, not someone else. It will be your voice, but it's going to be just a bit different from how you're used to before.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the brushing, of course, I would say it becomes a bit difficult. So food trapping is quite a significant issue with braces, and if someone that doesn't clean their teeth well, they would get gum disease, a lot of it. They would get gingivitis, and with gingivitis, their breath may be a bit off. Yeah, so that is something they need to take into account as well.
Okay, yeah. I can see Anne Nyake. Say hi to Dr. Akibera.
Hi, Anne.
Okay, the last question. Yeah. Can I get braces if I have dental implant?
If you already have an implant, so the question becomes, will them, if the treatment can be simulated, if the dentist can try to simulate how the teeth will move, if there's a risk of the movement of the teeth impinging on the implant, then it's not possible. I don't recommend you go that route.
Oh, okay.
But if you are given the choice mapema, I would rather the braces were done first than the implants came later. Because an implant is irreversible. Like once you put it, we're not going back there to do anything else. Okay. Yes. Think of braces and implants like constructing a building where you know a road is passing.
Okay.
Okay. Let the road pass first, so that you know this land you can put a house. You don't put a house and then you want to come and put a road again. So the implant comes after because it's fixed, it's permanent. Then the braces involves movement. So move them until where you want first. Then once you're okay, you come and do your implant.
Okay, so viewers, we're going to take a short break. Continue sending us your questions on all social media platforms at Nisi Television. Let us take a break.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard of cases in the society of people murdering their spouses and their children? What about human beings throwing themselves off buildings? In our universities today, it's a den of crime. Students in drugs, students in habits like homosexuality, which also cuts across in our society today. What do you think? Is there anyone to blame? Do you think it's a major issue in our society? Welcome to the Deval Show, a show whereby we unmask matters happening in the society, matters which the society shies away from speaking about. And this is a place where we'll journey with you as an individual and largely in the society to find the healing of the soul and the empowerment of the spirit. My name is Kesh Susan, and I will be your host every Tuesday from 9:30 to 11:30 here at Nisi Television, where we transform life through media. Welcome to the Deval Show.
Have you been searching for a plot to build your home? A place with beautiful environment, accessible roads, modern schools, electricity and water? Relax. Your prayer has been answered. Your real partner is here. We have a new breathtaking project located at Ruai Joska, right next to Sunshine Duvoine. We are selling plots going for a super special offer, Ma Sanitizer Gardens. And don't forget, all these plots have ready title deeds. Call us on 0714-717-777 or 0727-779-777. Changamka, chukua hatua, jiinue na ploti, lipa mdogo mdogo. The Fortune Gardens, jiinue na ploti.
What is good health? How do we attain and maintain healthy living? We have answers concerning communicable, lifestyle, genetic and non-genetic diseases. Join me, Cecilia Mwariri, and our medical experts every Wednesday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. for informative and educative conversations. This is the 911 show on Nisi Television, where we transform lives through media. Wow. Welcome again to the 911 show. And today we had Dr. Kibera. It's now you're tuning into Nisi Television. So, Dr. Kibera, tell us where can we find you?
Our clinic is located in Kilimani. The building is called Wood Avenue Plaza. It's on a junction of Agnes Kodek and Wood Avenue, right next to Yaya and opposite the new Ola petrol station, Kilimani.
Okay, so it's a central place. Huh?
Very, it's like it's right there on the road. It's really quite easy for someone to get us. Okay,
you could also tell us your contacts and maybe a parting shot to your viewers.
Okay, so the lines we use are two. We have one 0719 498878. The other one is 0745 554625. And the partition I'd like to say is as a Kenyan, just as a normal person, my recommendation is always have a dental checkup at least once a year. Once every 6 months, once a year. Remember, dental treatment, the best form of treatment is prevention. So if you go to a dentist every once in 6 months or every year, they can actually look at your teeth and tell you exactly what to do, how to brush, how to get rid of cavities, how to avoid them, what diet to take. But if you avoid us because of pain, we are not the best people. We are not, people don't regard us in friendly terms. So if you avoid us for like probably what, 45 years, if you avoid us for too long, you find that the time you come for treatment, a lot has gone on, and you probably need quite complex treatment. So just do the treatment early, avoid sugary things, brush every single day, at least twice, before you sleep and in the morning after you wake up. And if you need treatment, there's Dr. Kibera. I'll say my location at Wood Avenue Plaza. Come, I will give you a good rate and I will be able to treat you and make sure at least you are in good hands.
And of course, you'll sort us 50%?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So, dear viewers, that was Dr. Kibera. I am your host, Cecilia Mwariri. So, are you a medical practitioner? You can talk to us so that we can get to host you on Nisi Television. You can talk to us on our social media pages, Instagram, Nisi Television, Twitter, Nisi Television, Facebook, Nisi Television. And we'll get to host you. Also, our dear viewers, maybe you're not a medical practitioner, you can still ask questions and maybe invite, maybe tag along a doctor, any doctor or medical practitioner. So thank you so much, guys, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.